Welcome back to Rewired and Desired podcast, where intimacy, mindset, and disability intersect. My name is Trina Ricketts, the intimate ostomate, and I'm here with Nicole Richards, and she is also very intimate. Just kidding, I don't know. But today we are not talking about intimacy, even though it is one of our favorite subjects on our channel. Today we are going to talk about invisible disabilities. We're going to talk about even just the term disability, because within our community, there is different feelings about whether we consider ourselves disabled with ostomies, for instance.
Mhm.
So we're going to get into that. And if you've ever felt like you have an invisible disability and that people don't understand, or you've been through some crazy shit because of it,
Mhm.
we can relate, and we're going to talk about it today. Would you like to
Yeah.
start off, Nicole, and maybe share a little bit of your thoughts about it?
Yeah. This is an interesting topic, like you said, Trina, because in the ostomy community, I've had people say from one end of the spectrum, we're disabled, and one end say we're not.
Hmm.
Um, Bottom line is, right, we do have this prosthetic type colon, right, where we use the bathroom, not like other people. I think in that sense, that makes us some have some sort of a disability, right?
Hmm.
Not only that, but then the reason behind having an ostomy that led to getting an ostomy also adds in not only one to the pain, the fatigue, urgencies, leaks, medication side effects, all these
Hmm.
things, right? Adds on to having this issue. So I do believe that there is some relevance to calling it a disability.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think it makes us unable to live our lives, though, right? So it doesn't cause us not to be able to go out and do what we want to in life, to a point and at a certain point,
Hmm.
because it's not until we are comfortable in our ostomy, it's not until we've mastered what we're doing that we can feel like we can go out and live our lives. And then to a point, there's things that are going to always come up, and it is something that has to be constantly managed and constantly thought of, recognized, taken care of.
Hmm.
So it is. It's a little bit of both, I think, and
Yeah.
that's what makes it difficult. And like I said, the underlying conditions really, really do make it harder. And one thing I want to say is, and we say this with invisible disabilities, is especially because in ostomy, it's not just always hanging out. You can't always see it. Just like having Crohn's or colitis or cancer or any of these conditions doesn't mean you look unhealthy all the time. And so
Hmm.
just because someone looks unhealthy doesn't mean they feel healthy. Like
Hmm.
right now, I've been in a flare for like over a month.
Hmm.
And although the scale's showing it because I've lost 17 pounds,
Hmm.
like the scale's showing it, but you wouldn't know it just looking at me,
Hmm.
right? You would not know it. And because I've been dealing with this for so long, I can be in the earth-shattering pain and hide it from you so
I
well.
know. I know, me too.
So
Don't we get good at that?
well. Yes. And it's
Especially in front of your
terrible.
children. Like that was where I got the most practice, just trying not to look constantly in pain in front of my
Yeah.
children.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I wish I would have done that a little bit more, but
Oh, I
it was
wish I did that better too. Don't worry.
when you're, yeah, when you're home, like, you're in your home, so you feel you can let it all out. But yeah, like being in front of people, they don't always know what you're going through. So that's kind of my thoughts. What are your
Mhm.
thoughts, Trina? What do you think about
Yeah.
the term,
Yeah,
you
the
know?
term, like there's two kind of debates about the term disability. One debate is that it's a derogatory term and we shouldn't even use that term, even if
Mhm.
we have a disability. And that's like a totally other conversation that we're not having today.
Yep.
Um, and like we have our opinions on that too. But today we're mostly talking about like is having an ostomy a disability or lots of other issues, but in particular ostomy. And for me, I look at it like it depends on how it impacts your life. So one person who, let's say they had cancer or something that didn't affect their whole body, they didn't have an underlying condition for like the last 10 to 20 years or even 3 years or whatever. But they suddenly found out they had colon cancer or something, and now they have to get it removed. And then once they recover and they have a reversal, some of them, I'm assuming, might just go
Yeah.
on with normal lives after that. It's
Right.
possible.
Right.
But some people I've seen in the group say, I don't consider myself to have a disability. I can do anything anyone else can do. I don't feel that way. I don't feel like I can do anything anyone else can do. I don't
Mhm.
have the energy that a healthy person
Right.
has.
Right.
I
Right.
don't have the ability to work like a normal job because
Mhm.
there are
Hmm.
so many days when I can't work because of my health and my
Yeah.
weakness and my immune system. I also look at the situation of like when I go to use a bathroom in public. Yeah, I want to use the disabled persons, the
Yeah.
handicap, or I think that word is out of favor now too, but that bathroom because
Hmm.
I want the privacy, number one. And like to be able to move, it's hard to like do all that stuff in there
Hmm.
when you're in this tiny little cubicle. But then you even run into problems in bathrooms where they don't have a surface for you to like put your
That.
supplies on, like my
Yep.
odor drops or
Yep.
you know, or the toilet paper breaks off every piece, you know,
Yep.
like
Yep.
these are actually like serious barriers for us to have a normal life. And so in that way, I consider having an ostomy a disability. I have issues with dehydration. I have to go for
Yeah.
IV hydration therapy every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I sometimes get so dehydrated that I have to take like clear everything off my calendar just to care for myself
Hmm.
and heal and get better and recover. And that's all because of the ostomy. I never had
Yeah.
dehydration before the ostomy.
Yeah.
So not only has it helped me with my previous condition or my, you know, what led to having the ostomy, so it's made my life better that way, but it's also introduced other things that
Yep.
are going to create problems. Like the
Yep.
itchiness of the bag
Yeah.
can be so crazy that you can barely even think. And
Yep.
if you get a
Yep.
leak, or
Yep.
if even if you're just getting a little bit of leak around the stoma and it's affecting your skin, these are
Hmm.
all issues that a normal,
Food
healthy person,
anxiety.
yeah, food anxiety, having to watch everything we eat, having to ask for substitutions and changes to
Yep.
every order in every restaurant. It's
Yep.
embarrassing. It's humiliating
Yeah.
sometimes. And I
Yeah.
always feel like I have to say, like, I'm sorry I'm asking for so many things just to do
Yeah.
with a simple burger.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right. Right. Yep.
like gluten-free, that not no sauce, no
Yep.
vegetables, like, you know, it's just
Yep.
so crazy. And like this to me, these are proof that we have a disability. But
Yeah.
looking at me, especially when I'm feeling good and I have the energy to go out dancing, because I'll go out dancing and I will dance all night. And
Yeah.
I'll be I have to really push myself. Like, you know, I probably shouldn't go that hard, but it's like I can do it, so I do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And there was a time when I thought I might not ever be able to dance again. So for me, that's like I just take advantage of it. And when you see me on that dance floor, there's no way you think I'm disabled. Like, no way. But then 2 days later, I could be crippled with arthritis, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like this is what autoimmune conditions are like.
Mhm.
And I think
Mhm.
maybe someone who's had cancer or a different condition that has led to their ostomy, maybe it's not as they don't maybe struggle as much after the surgery as some of
Right.
us do, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's the underlying condition. And one of the things that I hope people who are listening to this who don't have an ostomy or an underlying condition understand is like telling people, it's like telling people who are overweight, you need your FAT. Or I don't want
Hmm.
to say it. I just don't want to say it. I
Yeah.
hate saying that word. Or telling people who are too thin that you're too skinny.
Hmm.
Right. But telling somebody
I've had
like
that too.
yeah, see, and then but telling somebody like us, you look okay, you look
Yeah.
fine, you look great. It's like, but you have no idea
It's
what my
like it feels
innards
like
are
they're
doing.
diminishing what we're actually experiencing when they say that.
It does, it does. And then assuming I know for me, like I'm not on disability, but I've applied for disability and been denied. And I'm
Hmm.
in the appeal process again since my accident. But like people thinking that I just don't want to work or you have a business, so you should be fine. Well, no, it doesn't work that way, you
No.
guys.
It's not when you're first starting your business and building
This
your business. Like
businesses take
entrepreneurs have to
years,
put years in to start turning a
years,
profit.
years just to
Yeah.
make profit and
Yeah.
years just to get to where you want to be. So no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
There's a saying that entrepreneur, and not to get it off on that tangent, but entrepreneurs, what a team of people or what most people won't do or what entrepreneurs will do, right? Like so
Hmm.
what most won't do to kind of like suffer through is what an entrepreneur will do so that they can get ahead in the end,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of how it goes.
Oh,
But
I do a lot of things I don't like
me too.
bookkeeping, my own books. I really don't like that.
I'm a couple months behind. Don't remind me. But yeah, just like thinking that we're being lazy or just gonna like drain the system or something like that.
Mhm.
Like it is because it's like we're not in a wheelchair, we're not missing a visible limb, although
Mhm.
we are, we're missing something very, very important to the way our body functions.
Mhm.
Um, and thinking that like we're being dramatic And then, or just having to over explain because it is
Over
invisible.
explaining, or like even like when I went on a whole weekend date, I talked about this before, and got there and realized that I didn't bring my odor drops.
Yeah.
And people would probably be like, well, that's not a disability. It's not disabling you that you're going to stink up the bathroom the whole weekend. But
No, but it's
it's
the,
devastating. It's humiliating. It's
yes,
embarrassing,
it's the,
especially the first time I'm going on a whole
yeah,
weekend date with someone, you
yes,
know? So,
yes.
and then we had to drive an hour to another city to be able to get some odor drops. And so it all worked out. But the point is a healthy person doesn't have to go through those, a non-disabled person doesn't have to go through those things, you know?
100%. Like on that subject, like, I'm having all these, I've been having this flare for over a month and I'm going to be needing all these tests. So a colonoscopy, another endoscopy, an MRI, like multiple days of blood work and all the tests,
Mhm.
right? And like, unfortunately, the guy I'm seeing is probably going to watch this, but I'm afraid to tell him this stuff
Oh,
because I don't want to feel like too much. And that is part of the disability.
yes. Oh
It's
my God,
like,
you make me want to cry when you say this because that is a
mhm,
huge part of it. A huge part of it is these episodes of sickness over and over and how demoralizing it feels and how it makes us feel unworthy of
yeah,
love and unworthy and like we're a burden, you
a
know?
burden. And that's just it. Like he's so understanding and he so gets it. And so he probably would be. But my fear is telling him or anybody else, especially at my age, where it's like, well, gosh, is she going to be able to like hang? Is she going to be able to do anything? Are we just going to be
Mhm.
at the doctors all the time? I'm
I
going to have to
know.
deal with this. Like, is she going to be sick and bedridden? And I'm just going to be like next to her, like
Am I
hating
committing to
my
like
life.
taking care of a sick person when I'm
Yeah.
healthy?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
So it's so like I if it just I've been doing so good for so many years. So for it to come up now of all times, like it just feels so invalidating. And
Mhm.
people don't get it. People don't get it. The doctors
Mhm.
don't get it. I mean, these people who decide disability don't get it.
No,
You
like I
know?
can't believe they turned you down. I had to
Oh
apply
yeah.
twice. I had to apply twice. They turned me down the first
Well,
time.
I'm on my second time and then on top of it, I have this whole issue with my leg now from the car accident, and my
Mhm.
knee. Like I can't even be on my anyways, I digress. We're
What
not
I
gonna
suggest with that, just as a quick aside, is
yeah.
every single medical appointment, test, anything you get done right now, every time you go to the
Oh,
hospital, get your files and then include those in your reapplication.
yeah.
That's what
Okay.
I did. Like include all the medical visits you've done between the last application and this one. You can usually like
Yeah.
phone or even pay to get them, all your
Yeah.
records.
Okay.
That's how I did it anyway.
Yeah. No, that's good.
But
I
yeah, but like the
appreciate
whole disability thing, like one thing I have seen, and I'd love to get your opinion on this. There's a woman on Instagram who has an ostomy,
it.
and she
Hmm.
actually records herself on buses sitting in the disabled seat.
I love
And
that.
she has a lot of people like trash talk her about it because they're like, you don't need that seat just because you have an ostomy bag.
Hmm.
And and other people are like, and she tries to defend herself. She also brings up like the bathrooms and like how people have confronted her when she's used the disabled people's
Hmm.
bathrooms because they don't see anything wrong with her,
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Of course.
invisible disability. But I have to admit, I had a very kind of repulsed reaction to her sitting in the disabled person's seat on the bus.
Yeah. Did
Because
you?
like even like there was a time when I had a lot of mobility issues and I actually had one of those wheelchair not wheelchair but like disability things you can put in your car so I
The
could
Packard. Yeah. Yep.
park in the disability parking spots because it was really
Hmm.
hard for me to walk.
Hmm.
And I had it for a couple of years, but when I started to get better and my mobility improved really quite a bit, I didn't reapply for it because I didn't feel like I deserved it anymore and I didn't need it as much as other people needed it.
Yeah.
And so then when I would never, I stand up and let people sit down, even if I'm sick, even if I'm feeling sick,
Hmm.
because to me, mobility is not my issue
Right.
you
Right.
know
Right.
but
Right.
so
Right.
that's how I felt when I saw that, but I didn't say anything because I don't like to put out that kind of negative judgy energy,
Yeah.
but that was my impression, like, do you really need to sit there? So I'd love
Yeah.
to hear what your perspective is.
You know, it kind of goes along with the bathroom pass in a sense. Have you seen the bathroom pass? Like the UOA actually put it out, and it's like this little piece of paper, and businesses don't have to agree to it, but
Mhm.
you show a like this pass and say, "Hey, I have an issue. Like I need to use your bathroom." And I tried the same thing, kind of like how she's doing, right? Like now hers is different. Obviously, using the bathroom and sitting in the disabled seats different. But
Mhm.
I walked into a place. I was living in California at the time, and I walked into a place just to see what they would say. just to test the waters. I did it a couple times because
Hmm.
I wanted to see what would happen because California is really weird about using their bathrooms. Like it's
Hmm.
just super strange. People they don't like people using public bathrooms, probably because of homelessness and that.
Yeah.
And sure enough, this guy was denied, but he started like yelling at me and like I was like, but I have a pass and I really need to use your bathroom. And he was like, what? He was going crazy.
You
And I
should
was
have
like,
recorded that.
I should have, and I laughed. But as far as like sitting in a disabled in like a handicap seat, if there was something more to the story, like
Hmm.
she was closer to a bathroom or closer to an exit
Hmm.
because she has multiple leaks, or she was closer to her bag that she hung up. I don't know. Just like
Yeah.
something. Like, or, she has an issue with moving because of the bag, or the bag's in a weird spot,
Hmm.
or she has a leg that's also a little, not functioning right. Like
Yeah.
something like that, then I could see it.
Yeah.
Just for having an ostomy and everything feels okay and everything's as normal, I don't think she should be sitting in that seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do feel like, I mean, I don't know, and she could have a very valid reason that I'm just not aware of. But I feel like that when people take advantage of situations like that, then it can create uh, like anger or people wanting to look at all of us like we're all just faking
Mhm.
it or we're all just
Yeah. Yeah.
taking advantage of the system, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like when a woman lies and says she's been assaulted
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and believe all women, you know?
Right. And
But
now
then but
you
then the
can't.
people that know that she's lying, they start to not believe all women because
Yeah.
she made everyone suspicious now. Like made
Yeah.
all claims seem
Right.
suspicious now.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
like that kind of thing. I just don't agree with people abusing the process, abusing the system, taking advantage of
Yeah.
people's goodwill, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's where we're at because like you said, people could then look at us and say, well, we don't see it, so why would we think that you need disability or you
Hmm.
need special parking or all these things, right?
I
So
know.
it is one of those things that you kind of have to take people's word for it, because you can't see it.
Yeah. I
You
think the
can't see it.
worst of my experience with invisible disability was before the bag. It was after my vaccine injury because all my blood tests kept coming back normal.
Hmm.
Um, the doctors were saying to me that it was psychosomatic. It was in my head. It was caused by something that happened to me as a child, and I just don't remember. And now I'm all of a sudden sick, and it's just because of something mentally fucked up in my head.
Hmm.
And I knew that wasn't true, but I was still willing to try antidepressants and try to draw my childhood and all these other
Yes.
stupid things people, doctors and naturopaths told me to do.
Hmm.
Because my blood test came back normal. And every
Hmm.
time I went to a specialist, my blood test came back normal.
Yeah.
Um, because my invisible disability, they couldn't measure it with their normal blood tests. They assumed that it didn't exist.
Hmm.
And that's how what I've learned and what I've noticed with my health journey and with other people I know is that our bodies balance themselves out so well. Like that's what they're designed to do, so that your blood test, even when you feel horrible, can
Hmm.
for a very long time come back normal. And
Wow.
until something goes very wrong, like with me, and you end up in the hospital getting an emergency
Yeah.
surgery and having 75% of your large intestine removed. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
Yes.
now all of a sudden, people were going to take me seriously. And after that, I started getting weird blood test results. But even in the 2 weeks that I had a perforated bowel and I was going back and forth to the hospital and they were doing blood tests and x-rays, they didn't figure it out that I had a perforated bowel because none of my test results showed it until I was almost dead, until I was like on the verge of dying. That's when my test results changed and when they started doing a more invasive test to find out what was wrong with me. But that's how they treat, even doctors treat us. And so that period of time, it was 4 years from vaccine injury to emergency surgery. So for 4 years, I was treated like it was all in my head, and to the
Mhm.
to the extent that my partner at the time thought I was faking my illness, and his family thought I was faking my illness, and they would shit talk me behind my back, in front of my children. And then my children would come to me and say, "Mom, what does it mean to be off your rocker?" and shit like that, because they were saying I was crazy. So they were all gaslighting me and treating me like I was faking my illness. And I was so sick that I would literally wear a baseball cap and like clothes and walk looking down, hoping no one at my daughter's school or would talk to me because it was so hard for me to even stand up without feeling like I was going to pass out. I was so dizzy, constantly dizzy and so sick.
Oh my
And
God.
and yet I was faking it,
That's
like
total gaslighting. Oh my
oh,
gosh.
it was the most like I've never in my life been treated so horribly until COVID happened. And then I tried to go in a store without a mask and I got treated really bad in one of those situations. But yeah, but like that was the public humiliation, whereas this was more like personal, like private humiliation. The people that were supposed to love me and take care of me.
Yeah.
And that was just so devastating to feel like no one believed me and it be that sick, you know?
Mhm. I feel like that happens a lot in family, not to that level, but I feel like at some level you are, because it's that invisible disability, it's really like, what are you like, why are you making this up? Why are you making it a bigger deal?
Mhm.
Why?
You were
Sure,
fine
everybody gets,
yesterday, so why are you sick today?
yeah, everybody gets diarrhea, like you probably
Hmm.
ate something or it's something you took, or
Hmm.
or when you're somebody who has lived a little more on the edge, like, right, like you danced and you just, and like even for me, like just some of the things that I've done, like, in my own lifestyle, it's probably made it seem like, well, it's probably some way that she's living, or
Hmm.
choices, and it's like, you don't know. And it's just like food choice, like I remember I used to get shamed a lot for like what I ate,
Hmm.
and it's like, but what people didn't understand is that the minute I tried to eat like a healthy meal, then I would be constipated for 2 weeks and couldn't go to the bathroom.
Hmm.
So my best bet was eating that greasy ass, nasty Chinese food. Well,
Hmm.
actually, it tasted really good. I shouldn't say nasty. Okay? It's so good. It's so damn good. But nasty for you, right? The grease and
Oh,
the
I
vegetable
didn't know
oil.
that. Hmm.
Oh yeah. The place we were eating it from. Anyways, you know, but that was, I could use the bathroom. Eating that
Hmm.
white rice and the greasy chicken and the, whatever, the sauces, because they actually kind of stimulate. There's so much sugar in it. It does stimulate your bowels to move. And
Hmm.
so I just get shamed. I would get shamed a lot for just what I ate.
Hmm.
Because
And the
what
other
we
way, I've gotten
were
shamed the other way.
for what?
Sorry, for like eating healthy.
Really?
Like people saying, "Oh, are you one of those gluten heads?"
Oh, yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
don't eat gluten. I'm like, I will literally be ill if I eat it. But
Yeah.
apparently I'm just doing a fad. Like
Right.
my symptoms improved 80%
Yeah.
going gluten
Yeah.
free.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just a fad.
It's just a fact. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, the last guy I went on a date with made fun of me because I was gluten free.
Okay, so that's so immature.
Yeah.
So immature. Like, hello, how are you, like, and uneducated, right?
Hmm.
Like, how uneducated are you to know that,
Hmm.
like, people have these issues? And
Hmm.
and especially with digestion, like, oh, it just drives me nuts because like people have no idea how hard it is to go through life and like either not be able to eat, or you eat and everything comes out of you. And it's frustrating. Like, we want to be normal. We want to sit in a restaurant, enjoy a nice meal with people, but like that's not always reality for us. We have
Hmm.
to pick and choose sometimes.
Yeah.
Ugh,
And
it's
on the topic of like people saying, but you look good today, or you're not
yeah,
feeling well, well, you look great. And
yeah,
they really are saying it because they want to be nice.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
trying to say something nice. It's never intentionally to make us feel the way it makes us feel. You know what I mean? So it's kind of on
Mhm.
us in a way, but well, it is. It's on us because we're the ones who are reacting to what they're saying. And at
That's
least
true.
knowing that I know they're just trying to say the right thing and they don't know
Right.
what to say, and I can let that go, but it doesn't change how it makes me feel as like,
Yeah,
so what you're saying is I don't look sick, so therefore I'm not sick, you know?
yeah,
And also it makes if you've gone through like what I went through with the whole gaslighting and thinking it was all in my head and faking my illness, then it also is more sensitive in that way too, because then I'm like, do they think I'm faking it?
yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and then it's so common now to go through any kind of medical anything and think that they think we're faking it, because
Mhm.
I've been told that it was the psychosomatic as well in the past,
Mhm.
which I can understand to a point, because I do understand how pain and your body react to each other. So like the more happy and functioning, happy you are, the least amount of pain you have, because
Mhm.
the dopamine in that, and I've recently experienced that
Pain
even more. But
receptors.
yeah, your pain receptors. And so I don't know. What do you think is helpful for people? Like, what kind of support would help? So not obviously not saying this to people, but what
Yeah.
would help
That's such a
people?
good question. It's so funny that you said that because I remember just the other day talking to a friend and he's like he had read something that said when someone is sick, they are they are the center of the circle and you have to like ask them how they're feeling first and meet
Mm,
their needs first before you talk
mhm.
about yourself and before you know, and I was like, I don't know. I think like when I was sick, that would make me feel like I wish people would stop asking me how I'm feeling. I don't want to have to
Mhm.
say over and over, either lie and say I'm fine or say
Yeah.
I feel like shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I
Right.
didn't want to be asked how I'm doing,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to be the center of attention. I actually
Yeah.
wanted the pressure off of me to not be the
Mhm.
center of attention. I think like really just to believe people when they say they're not well, um, not get upset when they cancel plans, when they
Mhm.
can't do something at the last minute, or if something changes.
Yeah.
You know, those are the kinds of things that like I got to the point where I stopped caring if people got mad that I couldn't do something. I
Yeah.
just knew I couldn't do it, so I just fucking I was
Yeah.
like, I can't do it. You can get
Yeah.
mad if you, and so the people who would get mad about that stuff, they just started dropping them out of my life because
Yeah.
I am never going to be able to commit 100% with a chronic condition to be at your event. You
Yeah.
know, I will try. I want to be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 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 That's just it. We want to be. It doesn't mean
hmm
we can always
And
be, you
sometimes it's
know?
not because I'm extremely ill that I can't go, but I can feel myself getting weaker or more tired or run down. And I know if I go,
You're gonna
that
be
it's
run
gonna
down.
fuck me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
You
100%.
know?
Yeah, I think just being in those supportive relationships, that's all that's the best thing. And you know what? And when as we get older, like we have less and less of those people in our lives anyways.
Yeah.
And two, and on the spiritual journey, like that is what happens. People fall off. People
hmm
fall off out of your life because it's just not aligned anymore.
Yeah.
That's okay. That is totally okay.
Yeah. Especially if they can't handle like if a person won't support you taking care of your own health,
Mhm.
then they're going to be a liability to your health.
Oh yeah.
You
It
know?
is. It is. And that's just it. Like it's one thing to feel good and get through life, but to be thriving is a whole nother issue.
hmm
And when you're living just in that balance of I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, that's all right. But yeah, sometimes all it takes is just this one event. Like when I was caregiving for my friend, I was great. I was doing just fine for months and months and months. And when the
hmm
stress got real and when the hallucination, he started having more hallucinations and he was having some psychosis things going on. I mean, I was in so much just disbelief. I don't want to say disbelief. It was scary. It was scary. It was stressful on my body. I mean, I've been in a flare since. Was it that? I don't know. Maybe because
hmm
I wasn't able to take care of myself
Yeah.
like I would normally take care of myself in that situation. And
Yeah.
these are all again, all things that people just don't see is that sometimes just getting by is great and maintaining this even playing field is where we is good. It's baseline is good sometimes.
hmm
But all it takes is one episode or you going out with your friends that one night or that one day to some that could
hmm
totally set us off for a month or two.
Yep. I know. It's messed up.
We don't want to be there.
No, not at
No.
all.
No.
Yeah, the invisible disability thing is just so like I remember standing in lineups because I had that thing where it was so hard for me to stand and like in 5 minutes after 5 minutes of standing I would start getting dizzy. I was like this
Mm.
for like this until I went off the gluten. That was one of my symptoms that improved dramatically. But standing in lineups in grocery stores, I
Oh
would
yeah.
literally feel like I was swaying and I would wish that there was a lineup that had chairs all the way down. And I've always thought like there's so many more things that can be done for people with invisible disabilities
Yeah.
that aren't being done, you know?
Oh yeah.
Or like, and
100%.
it's even kind of embarrassing, like taking advantage of like the bank where they have like the chair. You have everyone stands in line, but if you're disabled or a business owner, you can go to
Yeah.
that lineup. And
Or you have some like special account.
yeah, yeah, right. So, and I would be embarrassed to go to that lineup because I don't look sick,
Mhm.
you know? And it's just, it's it's humiliating.
Yeah.
It really is.
What other things do you wish that healthy people or people without this, you know, the issues we have, understood? What do you wish they understood?
I wish they understood that blood test results don't tell you how someone feels on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a huge one, especially doctors. Like just because your
Yeah.
blood test results are normal doesn't mean that it's all
Mhm.
in my head.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
And also that when like believe us
Yeah.
when we say we can be laughing and having fun and still be so sick and in so much pain. And it feels like people expect us to, if we're sick and in pain, to always be miserable.
Yeah.
Some people expect us to always be miserable. And if we're happy for a minute, that's proof that we're faking our sickness, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Or vice versa. They expect us to always be positive.
Mhm.
when sometimes you're suffering so much and you're just so scared that all you can do is cry. And I'm sorry, like I just can't stop crying. Like,
Yep, yep, yep,
oh, I
yep.
feel like crying just talking about it. But those moments when you're just so heartbroken that you're going through it again,
Yes,
it's
yeah,
like it's a fucking roller coaster.
it
It
is.
really is. You start to feel,
It
and I
is.
remember for years, every time I started to feel well again, I'd be like, I'm getting better, I'm gonna recover. And then I would get
Yeah,
sick again. And
yeah.
so now I don't just assume I'm going to recover anymore. Now I just assume that I'm going to live my life as for the moment as I can every day because I don't know when I'm going to be sick again or
Mhm.
when I'm not going to be alive again. Like that's
Yes.
my mortality has become very, my bedfellow. Like I'm not scared of my mortality anymore and I don't
Mhm.
have like this idea that it's never going to happen to me. You know?
No, and that's so true. And I was saying this last night that I'm going to always say from now on, like especially since my car accident, I am going to keep saying exactly how I feel. I'm going to keep being exactly who I am. Now, there's a few things I have to learn to, because sometimes it's too much.
Me too.
But for the most part, right? But for the
Mhm.
most part, I
I
when
bet you're a
when
lot better than you used to be.
one way
Me
better,
too.
way better, because I've had two near death experiences, and if I am going to, and because we still get sick, and we have a disease, right? So
Hmm.
there's these things that still are like lurking back here, and I'm 45. I'm going to keep saying what I want to say or doing the way that's me and
Hmm.
projecting the way I'm going to project because I don't know how much longer I have. And
Yeah.
I mean, I know I know I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. But
Yeah.
I'm saying you don't know. Like
But
like
we
my
could step
car
out on the
accident.
road and get hit by a bus. Like it might not even be our disease
I
or
got hit by a
something that
bus.
takes.
Yes.
Like there you go, you know?
So yeah, it can happen.
Hmm.
And yeah, we just have to keep doing what we're doing, but we just have to have we have to have supportive people, I think really is what it comes down to in our corner. And part of it is us, like, but we can't help it. It's like having PTSD around it. It's the shame, the guilt, the fear, all those like lower energy. And when it does come back around again, it's like you said, again, it's a roller
Hmm.
coaster of
Yeah.
a ride. And just when one thing's going right, then we get bombarded with something like this. Like everything in our
Hmm.
life can be going right, and then all of a sudden, boom, here comes a Crohn's flare.
Hmm.
Boom, here comes the blockage.
Yeah.
You know? Um, yeah, it's tiring. It is
The
tiring.
trauma, like you said, like when you've been through medical trauma, like for me, like I went recently and I'm dropping a podcast on this about how I was so bullied by so many doctors and so dismissed and treated like shit by so many doctors for so many years. And then the last few years, I didn't have that experience very much. And I started to feel like I was finally healing from that. And I didn't hate doctors anymore and distrust every single one of them anymore. And I was starting to feel like, no, they're good people. They just, some of them were, made mistakes, trying to
Yeah,
get into that mind
yeah.
frame. And then I had to face another doctor who was bullying me and like immediately triggers those
Oh,
feelings, those
yes.
feelings of like, oh, that like so much so that I had to do a big rant on it on my podcast.
I don't blame
But
you. I've been treated like I was a drug seeker so many times
yes.
because I ended up in the I talked about this in the past that I've actually put myself into the mental ward, I guess you call it,
Mhm.
where for suicidal ideation a few times. And oh yeah, I mean, I still to this day know that I'm being treated as if I have that psychosis still, or as if I still
Mhm.
have like a drug seeking behavior when I've never even presented that.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's really tiring to have to prove to your family and your friends. And so how is this not a
Well,
disability?
mental health, mental illness is another invisible disability. Unless you're like acting out really obvious ways, it's usually very invisible to most people. And that's
And
that's
yeah,
another part of our journey because
yeah,
how can you be fully mentally well after what we've been through? Like that's part of our healing journey that you and I have been on with our self-work and why we became coaches because we want to
yeah,
help other people get to
get
that
through
point
it.
of where we are,
Mhm.
but we're still working through it because it's like become a part of like
Yeah,
our trauma, our history.
well,
It's a piece of us.
working through it, and still going to experience the ups and downs of the mental health part too,
Hmm.
you
Because
know?
it's not like we went through something and then we had all this time to try and deal with it. We went through something, we started to try and deal with it, then we went through it again, and we went through it again, and we went through it again and again and again. And here we are over and over dealing with these bully doctors or dealing with being dismissed or having our disease or our illness treated like it's nothing or like that we're
Yeah.
faking it and being
Yep.
gaslit and all of that. Like that's, yeah, I think we've proven in this episode that it is a disability.
I think so too. And while we say that, like I do also think that if you don't consider it a disability, that's okay too. And
Mhm.
don't dismiss people who say that it's their disability because that's also bullying and that's also, they're not no one's saying that you are, but we take our condition, the whole totality of circumstances, which is not just the ostomy, not just the underlying condition, but also the pelvic floor, the mental health, the medication, problems from medications,
Mhm.
the
Dehydration.
dehydration, the problems that we've gotten, the kickback from society and using handicap bathroom, the kickback we've gotten
Mhm.
from families, doctors, and all of it, right? So it's
Mhm.
a lot to deal with. So yes,
Yeah, it
yeah,
is.
I think we have proved that it is. And if you don't want it to be a disability, and you can still live your life, and I mean, we're still living our lives. It's going to look different. It's always going to
Yes.
look different. So.
It's like it's living life in spurts.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have to take advantage of every healthy or like
Yeah,
somewhat healthy moment that you have to
yeah,
enjoy life and be grateful for those moments and
yes.
love the ones you're with.
Yes. So important. I'm
Mhm.
glad you said that. It's because sometimes I forget that too, you know? So,
To live for today, you mean?
yeah, no, sometimes I have to remind myself, like, oh, wow, I am thankful today that I feel good,
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
even though I'm in a Crohn's flare, like, I'm still going to take off and do my in-person
Yeah.
support group today and go to the store and do the things that I need to do because I'm okay. Like,
Hmm.
I might have to go to the bathroom 5 times, but I'll be all right and I'll still make it throughout the
You get
day.
used to it. You get used to
Yeah.
pain, you get used to struggling, and you become resilient to it. And that's one of the things, that's one of the gifts that we get from our illness and
Mm-hmm.
our journey, our medical journey, is we become very strong,
Yep.
really strong and
Very strong.
very resilient. And we can handle pain better than most people. We can do activities that most people wouldn't be able to do when if they were suffering the same situations that we're
Yeah.
suffering, the
Yeah.
pain or the
Yep.
issues.
Yep.
Most people would be like, I can't leave the house. And it happens all the time with my like normally healthy friends where like they get sick or they have an issue and everything in their life stops. And that's like an issue that for me is still I can still keep going with that issue.
That's yes, I know. Again, the guy that I'm seeing, we were on a motorcycle ride and it was super windy and I guess what you would consider uncomfortable. But
Mhm.
he was like, I'm sorry that it was like he's like, you're a trooper, like you ride well and like that was really good, like and you didn't complain. And I'm like, what's your complaint about? Like,
Mhm.
how can I complain? I've been in so many uncomfortable situations in my life. Like to me, I'm on a motorcycle riding through the wilderness. Like this is all friggin' awesome. Like hello,
Yeah.
like
I'm a little more
uncomfortable.
picky on a motorcycle, probably because I've ridden my own. But I'm
Yeah.
like, if this seat's not comfortable, I'll last 10 minutes and get me the hell off this bike. But that's also coming from a person who's had a lot of ass pain over the years because
True.
of my
Yeah.
issues,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. But anyways, I think yeah, like you're right. We proved it. We proved it.
We've proved it now. That's the answer.
That's
And
it.
if you disagree with us, please let us know in the comments. Or if you agree with us, or give
Yeah.
us your story. What have you been through? Do you think that having an ostomy is a disability, or do you feel like it does nothing to hold you back? I love hearing those stories because they inspire me. They
Yeah.
inspire me to go out and do things I'm scared to do.
Yeah. That's always a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for watching Rewired and Desired. Next week, you'll find out what our topic is.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. We'll just pull it out of the hat like we always do
Yes.
usually.
Yes. Yes.
We could talk about pain medication.
We could. We
Hmm.
could.
We've both had
Actually,
lots of experiences with pain medication and then how it was managed by our health professionals and
or not managed. Yeah.
not managed. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one.
All
Perfect.
right, that's what we're going to talk about next week.
Pain
Pain
management.
killers, pain
Oh
medication.
yeah. Oh, maybe just pain management in general, because I've had
Sure.
so many. Pain management for me has looked like all different things.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true because then you can offer like some of the ways that you managed pain. I
okay.
remember you telling some of that. That's very
Mhm.
interesting.
Perfect.
Awesome. Love you, Nicole. Love you,
Love you.
everybody.
Bye. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.